seen anything like that. I mean, I've seen jiu-jitsu, but those guys are amazing.
A great honor to have the Machado brothers.
Machado.
It's Carlos Machado.
All right, everybody. Another nice, awesome episode with Coffee Time with Carlos Machado. I'm here with the one, Andrew Tackett. Let me talk about this young man here. I saw him several times via stream doing amazing competition. Last year, CJI won when he had his match against the Ruotolo brother. For me, it was the best of all time. I mean, recent times, the most exciting match, whatever. Some people discuss the decision. For me, either or deserve to win. I think if I had to choose one match that I'll give the win to both, that would be one of them, okay?
The people won.
Yes. And the other thing, too, is like we're going to kind of dig a little bit on his adventure right now. He just had a seminar, an awesome full house seminar at my academy here in Dallas. Very gracious, very technical. He not only took over 2 hours of teaching, answering every question there was, but he also took another 30, 45 minutes, non-stop, no water break, of rolling with a bunch of different participants and being very gracious, sharing and trying to learn. Andrew, I know we can expand this introduction, and I guess people will know more about you if they already haven't done their homework. Mm-hmm. But I just selfishly want to know more about you because I like you before I met you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
You caused an impression.
Don't get to know me too well.
Yes. Okay. Let's keep your good side, right?
Yeah.
So, Andrew Tackett, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for making the time. I know you just finished some grueling time, driving and teaching and rolling. Thank you so much.
Oh, man, that's what I like to do. It means nothing if I'm the best in the world and I am trying to be the best in the world. If I have no impact, gain to know people, relationships, that's where it's at. So doing stuff like this is really what just impacts my heart and keeps me going at the end of the day.
Awesome. All right. So let's kind of get to some of the things that I'm very curious about. Okay. I got in touch with you. I DM you on Instagram when I heard that you had a farewell to your Texas crowd. And I'm here thinking, what's going on here? And of course, for a very important decision in your life, because now it's career-based.
Yes.
So you're kind of flipping a new page, a new adventure. And I did see your UFC BJJ, the last match that you had. Mm-hmm. Actually, I saw the last two. I saw your first match against Andy Varela on the first edition. Yep. And then the more recent one when you had the match against Renato that you got that incredible darce from the north-south. We're like,
thank you.
How in the world he did that? I didn't see it coming. I saw a lot of north-south guillotine, but the way you did it was very slick.
Thank you.
But I know that you are in a process right now that literally you're making decisions that despite the fact you have your entire family behind you, and from what I understand, they're all moving with you to Vegas.
Eventually, yes.
Yes, but still doesn't change the fact that you're doing a step with your own foot right now. Mm-hmm. You're really kind of going right now, launching your career in a much more decisive way.
Yeah.
Can you go back and let me know what led to it and what's coming for you?
Yeah, so I've had a great family, great gym, great group of people here in Texas that have supported me my whole life. I grew up in a gym, Team Body. They helped me out. I, outgrew them and moved on, and they were a blessing. I ended up at Brazilian Fight Factory under Checkmat, the professors, and my personal friend and coach, Rodrigo Cabral. His nickname's Brucatu. He's an awesome dude. And he's helped me out for so long. And it just finally got to that point where there was such a great opportunity for me in Vegas. I had to accept it. If I stayed here in Texas, it would have been great. It would have been awesome. But I usually grow the most when I'm in an uncomfortable situation and I'm challenged. Mm-hmm. So I got the contract and the opportunity with UFC, and how many good gyms and how many good fighters and the PI and so many good things out there in Vegas. It just made sense. We've gone out to Vegas a couple of times, and every single time that I've gone out there, I've really loved it. The community, the people, just not the weather, definitely not the weather, but everything about it we love. Of course there's crazy things in Vegas, but if we're talking just jiu-jitsu and fighting scene, it's epic right now. So, yeah, we just had to hop on the train. We just had to make the decision and go out there. My family's moving like December, January, February, around that time. And I have nothing holding me here, no leases, no, nothing like that. So I was just like, man, why not get out there early? Why not get with the PI? Why not get the treatment that I need and deserve, and, and get locked in out there? So I just made the decision to leave early and get unpacked and get ready and get the ball rolling. And I'm very thankful that I did that. The early bird gets the worm,
That's amazing. Well, and when you talk about this, I was actually mentioning that at the tournament, not at the tournament, at the seminar, about the UFC willing to put a lot more money into jiu-jitsu, and which was something that back in the old days, we would compete in several different tournaments. And although it was great, and I don't regret, and I miss those times, we didn't have the structure to grow beyond a certain point.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. But I've competed since I was 6, and I've done so many tournaments where I had 6-7 matches and I got $500, or I did 6-7 matches, I got nothing. So I've done so many days of competing for free and struggling just for the love of the sport. And the fact that UFC, and there's so many other companies out there too that are raising the standards and the price paying the athletes, and putting money in the athletes' pockets. Oh, bro, jiu-jitsu is getting there, man. And I'm so glad.
Isn't that great?
It's so great, man. I can't lie.
Think about it. You dedicate most of your life on the match.
Yeah.
Whether you're teaching, whether you're training, or when you're competing, and if you do want to compete for a bigger pay and be involved on the thing that you love, it's no small feat for you to have. Now, but that brings me, to another question. Although it's an amazing opportunity for everybody, not everyone will have a shot.
I agree, man.
So
I agree.
You are in a category at this point that puts you in a small select group of individuals.
I think you need to earn getting paid that much and earn that luxury, You can't just jump into getting, free doctors, free strength and conditioning, free food, free everything they give you at the PI. And then on top of that, a great contract. So, you have to earn that, you just don't, you're just not given that. So I think through these other organizations and other platforms building up the athletes, it would be cool if the end goal was UFC BJJ. And, the jiu-jitsu community they might not love that idea, but I love it because it puts consistent and reliable money in my pocket. And then I don't have to stress, I either win or I lose,
Yep. In jiu-jitsu and in life, the foundation is everything. With a weak base, you cannot perform at your best. That's why I'm so excited to share Abstract Champ with you. I've been on the mats my whole life, and I know how important it is to stay connected to the ground. Abstract Champ brings that philosophy into everyday life. They're stylish, they're functional, and they're designed to evolve with you. So if you care about performance, recovery, and health from the ground up, check them out. Abstract Champ is all about foot freedom. And once you feel it, you'll never go back.
Hey guys, I think I'd like to hear your opinion, just because this is a great opportunity, since we're talking about these new opportunities for jiu-jitsu athletes. Kind of talk about what it means to you to have that opportunity now after these guys, these old school guys that have paved the way and even made this possible, right? So I like to hear that from you.
Jiu-jitsu would have never have gotten to this point. You need building blocks, to get somewhere. You guys know you need building blocks, and you never just go from 0 to 100. So, jiu-jitsu is now 3 generations old, and around there, about 2-3 generations old. And there was so many people before me that just grinded and went to town and struggled their whole lives and made it work. They opened a gym and they're living the life. But now there's just so much of a greater opportunity. I'm so thankful for that you can make a living on just competing, and then you can totally just take your focus off of coaching, take your focus off of owning a gym, and then just be the best you, be the best version of you. And then there's so many other opportunities too, with business connections, the media that's in jiu-jitsu now. So man, it wouldn't have happened if people like all of the greats, Marcelo Garcia, you know, Roger Gracie, you know, all of these guys, it would never happen if they weren't scrapping, you know? So it's like, at the end of the day, I owe it all to them, you know? So, but now it's on me, you know, it's on me to scrap. It's on me to put on a show. It's on me to stay true to myself and make sure jiu-jitsu goes in the direction I want it to go and that the sport wants it to go, so that now the little kids below me can have an even more bright and even more easier future towards success. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, yeah, I appreciate your attitude. That's great. The UFC BJJ, though, when it happens recently, you know, it was just a matter of a few months back, right?
Yeah.
I almost feel, did you feel like compared to a certain degree to the NFL draft, when you hear about something's going to come up, like a new league or something, and all of a sudden your name is being discussed, and then all of a sudden they reach out to you? How did that process come about?
I was reached out to pretty early. UFC was really respectful of how they approached us. We had a couple of organizations reach out to us, and in a not how we like, not, we didn't like, you know, we chose to go to the UFC for reasons. And they were super cool with us from the beginning. They reached out to me like almost a year before I signed, and we just like planned it, talked, you know, like, and then eventually it just happened. I had no idea they were doing the reality show or anything like that. And then they were just like, hey, yo, you want to do a reality show? And I was like, how much you paying me? And they're like, this much. And I was like, who's going to be on it? And they're like, you can't know that. And they're like, but trust me, it's to be sick. And I was like, all right. I was like, I'll trust you guys. And I'm so glad I did. You know, they've been really respectful of us, and they've really made sure that they've set us up and they've helped us a lot. And so we respect them for that. And yeah, it's been great. It's been a great experience at the UFC. And I think they're a young company in jiu-jitsu. Like, they're an old company, but they're young in jiu-jitsu and they're only growing. So I'm excited because they've done some really cool things already. And it's only been like a year, 2 years, you know? So I'm excited to see what they'll do in like 10 years, 20 years, you know, like, it's be crazy. You know, we might be making 200, 300 grand fights, you know, matches. That would be.
Well, I heard some guy there that was last name Musumaki. That's, from what I understand, what
he's probably making
he
a lot.
got paid.
Yeah, he's probably making a lot.
Yeah, we may discuss that later, you know. But okay, so from what I understand, it's kind of like a jiu-jitsu version of the Ultimate Fighter. Is that what it was?
Yes,
primarily.
yes.
So you have the two opposing teams, the two different coaches, and in the finals, the coaches end up also going against each other.
Yes.
So did you have to stay for the entire period in Vegas for a matter of weeks until everything was set and done?
They had us on pretty big lockdown. They had us on, you know, there for like 2 weeks. We were in a hotel. We didn't get our phones. We were pretty on a big schedule. And we didn't know what was going on. Nothing. It was stressful, you know, chaotic, and it just kept going, and we had no idea. And that was the beauty of it, because it was so on you. It's who's the best, you know. It's not who has the best team. It's not who has the best, you know, like coaches or none of that. It was like who under stress and under chaos is the best, and that's how they wanted to crown their champion. And it worked out for me. You know, can't complain.
Right. So you had 3 bouts all the way to the end.
Yep.
And on the first edition, you had your last match against Andy.
Yes.
Varela.
Great
and
match.
Once you got the title, then now you're in a position that you defend your belt.
Yes.
But Renato,
Called
your
me
last,
out. Yep.
he had a belt as well. So you kind of unified. Is that
No,
what
he
happened?
didn't have a belt. He just had already won like 3 or 4 matches in the UFC Fight Pass before the UFC BJJ. And so he wanted to, it was just suiting for him to challenge me. And he already had won so much. He was entertaining. So he hopped in the arena and challenged me. So I was like, oh man, I can't back down. Like, yes. Like, so that one worked out pretty cool as well. We're in the process of planning my next match as well. Really excited for that.
So do you have any idea? You don't have to say names or anything like that if it's not the time, but estimating when is your next schedule?
So I'm looking to hopefully get on the December card. Because they got cards constantly
December
planned.
8th, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. And hopefully, I mean, I'm good to be on that one. I mean, I haven't signed no contracts or anything yet, but I want to compete and they want me to compete.
Right.
And we already have some competitors that are like locked in for me to compete against. It's just like whatever sticks, you know? And I want to fight the best. I want to fight the people that make me nervous. When I think about them, I'm like, oof, I don't want to lose against that person. I got to work hard. I want to fight against people that have a good following, that have a lot of people backing them up. I want to, you know.
Do you have any names that of people you would like to go against?
There's a lot of names out there. I mean, I would love to go against Joseph Chin. That kid's a scrapper and I respect him. I would love to go against the Rotolos again. That would be absolutely amazing. I would love to go against Mika. You know, Mika would be a great match. I'd love to go against Levi Jones. A fantastic guard. I respect him, and I think that would be dope. I'd love to go against, you know, people like the AOJ Atos community, like Ronaldo, Tynan, Andy Morisaki, people like that are just technicians and know how to win. They're like gamers. Really anyone. I mean, there's so many good people for me to compete against, like Kenta Ayamoto, an absolute scrapper. I mean, the list just goes on. So as long as they give me someone that I'm like, okay, the fans would want to see this and I feel nervous, like I feel challenged, I'm accepting it. Like I'll go in there and I'll give it my all. But if they give me someone that is just like, I know it's not going to be a great match, I know it's just going to be a walkthrough for me, like I won't accept that because I don't want it to look bad on me and I don't want it to look bad on the UFC. So yeah, we'll get some good matches. Don't worry, guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And usually, I guess when you have notice of a match, you do have your training camp. You have,
So
enough
nice.
time to
You get to plan
prepare, right?
You get to play it. So nice.
So if you don't mind me, because this is from a coach perspective, I'd like to see how you structure and organize your
sir.
training camp. So
Yeah.
let's say you have a Joseph Chen. Let's say as an example.
So if I have Joseph Chin in 2 months, or like let's say in December, let's say if I had Joseph Chin, I would start immediately like learning his game, which I already know most of these people's games in the communities. I'm a nerd myself, I like to watch and study, but I would find out his game, find out areas he could beat me. I wouldn't focus on areas I could beat him first. I would focus on areas he could beat me. I'd be like, all right, here's all my weak suits. Here's all of his strong suits. I know how he'll beat me. Now let me focus on how I'll beat him. And then just totally forget about how he'll beat me. So now I have it in the back of my mind, that's how he could win. I'll develop a game plan. I still am not like in the training camp yet. I'm just like building my training camp about 2 months out. And usually I'm always lifting, trying to get jacked, trying to put muscle on. In training camp, it's hard for me to lift a lot because I'm training, lifting. I just get injured. In training camp, I usually focus on PT, Pilates, really just focusing on the muscle groups and healing. So now we're like, still 2 months out, getting my training camp going. Boom. All right, let's start training now. We got 6 weeks of intense training and we're hitting it hard. We're getting my cardio. We're getting my game plan. We're getting my technique down. We're not overtraining because I want to stay consistent, no injuries, because that's been a big hindrance to me, getting injuries and just having to take time off. So I'm really learning now at 22. Thank God I finally learned. But the consistency, taking a day off, like live to fight another day. And it always works out better that way for me. And then, as I'm breaking down my opponent's game and I'm getting better, then boom, we're like, let's say 2 weeks out, I start toning it down already. Like 2 weeks out, not so much hard rolling, but now more cardio and game plan. And then like 1 week out, cardio game plan. About 4 or 5 days out, quit the cardio, start doing PT, make sure I'm healthy, and then keep focusing on the game plan. And then boom, we fight. So
you kind of
peak, and then taper off and stay healthy.
Can you talk about the specifics of your training, like not the technique, but like what does that breakdown look like? Because I know there's a big argument about is it 1,000 reps of drilling? Is it what is it? What kind of? I want to hear what you
1,000 reps of drilling. 1,000 reps of drilling. If you suck at learning, I can learn a position really good in like 5 reps. It's like I've done so much technique, so much jiu-jitsu, so much wrestling, everything. Like you show me something, I just need to drill it a couple of times, pick onto it, start drilling on white belts, start drilling on blue belts, work my way up, purple, brown, black, and now it's a part of my game. And it's as easy as that. I don't think you just need to drill for hours. Like it's great. Like drilling is great if you are a white, purple, brown, even black belt sometimes, but I've been doing it since I was 6 and it's just so natural for me. I prefer gain it down, making it feel good, and then instantly trying it and rolling, and then gain it in part of my game and then moving on. One thing at a time too. I don't like worrying about 5, 6 different things. I'll perfect one move and then I'll move on. Perfect one move and then move on.
So what's your ratio to like specific training? Like, I don't know if you're doing like positional sparring for like,
Yeah.
like that, and then versus just full on
A
rolling.
lot of specific trains, I feel healthier doing that. When I do just regular rolling, I feel like it beats down my body, or I sometimes get ADD and quit focusing on my game plan and just roll to roll. But when I like put myself in instances and like controlled positions, then I can like really stay locked in and have like a purpose. And that's really good for me. It keeps me from overdoing it or even just switching up the game plan just because I want to scrap. But I'm a big believer in situational, like the eco approach, but I think it needs to be everything, you know, but yeah. I'm a big believer is like building positions and then creating, you know, positions through creativity in the role with how much experience I have. If you're not where I'm at, I think you definitely need to take more of a technique, breaking it down approach since it's not as natural to you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I guess
like for Carlos needs to focus on technique. You know, it's not as natural. You know,
I need one technique with lots of detail.
Yep.
No, I got you. I share with you that, and I think it's wise for you to know that you are taking more time on the recovery. You're now pacing yourself a little bit more, right? So how's that onion ring right there? He put an onion ring on his pocket.
Yeah, he
is that part of your nutrition for fight camp or what?
Oh man, my metabolism's so fast. I gotta constantly be eating.
Yeah.
You know, and onions are good. These are actually really good.
Yeah. Now, talking about that, do you have any particular protocol? Let's say vitamins, minerals, supplements. You had your electrolytes when you're doing the.
I do.
You know, what do you do in that regard? Protein shakes.
Yeah,
how does that work?
I think everyone should get their blood work checked. See how where they're deficient. See their health. You know, like see if there's something failing in their body. Like my kidneys were all messed up and I couldn't filter stuff properly and I was getting sick all the time. Just learning stuff like that about myself. I had thick blood, you know, learning how to fix that. Just like basic stuff goes a long way, you know, and you don't need to take all the vitamins in the world, but sometimes you need certain vitamins that other people don't need. You know, you don't just take the multivitamin and think you're fine, you know, because maybe you have a deficiency in some vitamins and a surplus in some, but you're taking the surplus, but you're not taking the deficiency. Yep. You're getting no good. So I think everyone should get their blood done, study themselves, see where they're lacking, and then build on that. And yes, you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be a PT, you gotta be everything if you want to be the best in the world.
Yep.
You know, you gotta know your nutrition, you gotta know your body. And I like to take my nutrition seriously. I don't go overboard. Like I'm not like a aggro with it, but I definitely like I'm blessed, you know. I get to eat bad sometimes and be fine. You know, I'm 22.
Do you have to do weight cut at all?
I do, yeah. I don't like to cut too much. So if I competed like 2 times a year, I'd cut like 25 pounds, you know. But I compete next year, hopefully like 6 times, 7 times. You know, we're gonna try and get as much matches as possible. You know, minimum, I believe it's like 4 or 5 matches. So I'm gonna be definitely doing more than that. So I can't be doing 20-pound weight cuts 6, 7 times a year. So I like to keep it like 10 to 15 pounds, you know, a little bit easier on the body, but, you know, more consistent.
So your background, you know, I know jiu-jitsu is your bread and butter, but you wrestle a lot. You've done quite some wrestling and you're pretty talented on your feet.
Thank you.
So how much of a wrestling background do you have?
Yeah, a big one. I started off like in judo when I was younger and then I did jiu-jitsu as well. And I always liked to be on top. I never really was a guard player. I was a guard player for like 2 years maybe. Then I started getting back injuries and stuff. And I was like, I can't get stacked anymore. So I started playing more on top. And then I started getting back injuries from being on top. So now it's just kind of like, just do whatever feels right. But I like being on top, man. I can't lie. It's so much more tiring on bottom when you're gassed, just pushing someone away and surviving. I would much rather be dead laying on you than dead being laid on. You know, and the only way I get you down there is by taking you down unless you pull guard. And so I always just work takedowns, judo, Greco, freestyle, folk style, like learned everything I could to make sure I could get the match to the ground and do what I love to do, which is passing, pressure, gassing out my partner, and exposing their back or a front headlock or something.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I noticed in your last match that I had a chance to watch with Renato Canudo, there were a couple of moments throughout the match. You had the upper hand from the start in terms of taking him
That
down,
man's scrappy,
dominating.
man. He's scrappy.
Yeah, but I remember he escaped a few times, and then one time he did a takedown on you, and what I saw you doing, it never bothered you because you bounced back like nothing happened and took him down. So, and you did that more than once. I think
say hello to having an older brother.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing that I really was observing from a coach perspective is when people think they got you, you're no longer there. You're already out and you already reversed the situation.
Yeah.
Your pace is frenetic. You keep a very fast pace. And you have those strong positions, your darts, that you do for multiple angles.
Yeah.
And your back take is second to none. I mean, I've seen you with Varela. You just kind of, I don't know, I think he was literally an up in the air back
I
take.
jumped on it.
Yeah, you jumped on him. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
Almost like a gymnastic, flip.
Oh, that was with Jason Nolf.
Yeah.
The one from the fireman's carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was like, I mean,
I closed my eyes on that one, and then I was like, oh, it worked out.
There's a degree of skill set and a degree of instinctive, pure creative skill. Mm-hmm. I think you have a very powerful improvisation capacity when you're doing it because your back take and then interesting the way you attack the back. It doesn't matter which angle your partner is. You do the switch. I saw you doing the hand grab.
Yes.
The grip battle.
Yes.
And stuff. And it's just like I think it's the timing part of your attack.
Yeah. It's just
sometimes I see people sometimes taking the back. They control.
Yeah.
And then they try to build it up from there. You already kind of like you already eliminated the hands.
Yeah.
And and in a very subtle way.
Yeah.
Once
a lot of that comes from drilling, but a lot of that just comes from believing in yourself. I mean, I know a lot of people that roll and they know more technique than I do, but they just don't believe in their technique and they just don't send it. It's like, what do I have to lose in jiu-jitsu? It's not like we have that one punch knockout factor like MMA does. Like, yes, we can get a quick sub or unexpected sub, but especially in the no-gi, there's a lot of opportunity for error, to make sure you can keep going. I mean, if I go against like Mika or snipers like Tynan and Andy or Levi or people like that, like it's little room for error. But the more I make them move, the more I can make mistakes versus the more we're slow, the less I can make mistakes. So as long as I'm just moving and pushing the pace and going for stuff and overwhelming them, I feel like I can make so much errors and get away with it because they're focused on other things except my errors. Yeah.
I think here one thing too, from the beginning of your talk, when you're naming some of the people you'd like to go against, I guess the mindset of some competitors, they try to build themselves up from guys who are not on the top tier. They kind of build them up and eventually get the top tiers. And yours kind of like a reverse engineer of some sort. I just want to get the toughest guys, see what happens, and and start from that level. Which I think, despite the fact it's a more challenging approach because you're gonna, have the top-notch guys.
That's how you get
At the
famous.
same time, it gives you a higher level of, I would say,
It helps you know
a vantage position.
Well, it helps you know where you're at.
Yeah.
So you're not. There's humility. There's self-awareness, and you can grow at a pace you're comfortable with. Versus if you're just growing and you're fighting people you're better than, you never know where you're at as far as the level. So when I lost to Cade, I was like, okay, I'm here. It's like I lost, he beat me. I was like, but I'm here, man. I just need to keep working hard and surpass them. It's like I'm not.
Was that the first match you had to Cade? Was that the very one?
That was my second match.
Second match. So would you mind, since you mentioned his name, give me a little bit of the history between the two of you?
I've known the Rotoldos for a long time. I fought Ty. I fought Cade. I fought Cade at I fought him at Pan Am's Kids Pans. We had a great match. He beat me by 2 points. And then I fought Ty at ADCC Trials. I was actually, I'd like to believe I was winning the match. I definitely was. And then I made the stupidest mistake. He slapped on a nice Doris and choked me out. And then I got to fight Cade again at CGI, and I did really good with him. So it's just good. I've always known them. They've always been such hard workers, and they've always been with a great team, Atos, and had a great people supporting them, and they're great kids. So it's been cool knowing them. I'm still coming for them. I know they're doing their MMA thing. I respect that. It's so cool. But if they ever want to have a match, you know, I'm preparing for it. You know, I'm working hard. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in a good place right now. The thing with Vegas, though, you don't have a particular team per se. You have a whole scope of individuals,
There's a lot,
coaches
yeah.
that you can go.
And they're all within like 30, 45 minutes of each other.
So how are you going to structure your training? You don't have to say what you don't want to disclose.
I'm gonna sign under Syndicate. So Syndicate is gonna be the gym that I'm representing. I'm still gonna keep my team in Texas as part of my life as much as I can. Like I will make sure to be back. I'll make sure to fly them out.
Who's with Syndicate?
Syndicate.
Yeah.
Syndicate is Syndicate Mixed Martial Arts. It's
okay.
John runs it, and very good gym. They host
Which John?
I don't remember his last name. Not gonna lie, but they host a lot of good fighters. They've produced so many good champions. They produced Marab. They've worked up Kalia Roundtree. I could go on, but not really. I don't really.
But they're MMA gyms.
Yeah,
exclusively.
They're an MMA gym exclusively, and they have a bunch of they have a jiu-jitsu program run by Tom and Shane, really good guys, and they have some good people. But the reason why I want to make that my home is because there's no drama.
John Wood is his name.
John Wood, absolute legend, man.
So let's kind of touch on that.
Yeah.
You're saying you picked a gym that, from the jiu-jitsu community's perspective, it's not a plain jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah.
It's a mixed martial arts gym that has a jiu-jitsu program.
Yes.
And the reason you picked that is because there's no drama.
Yes.
I want you to elaborate on that. And what was experiences you may have? You don't have to have names, but what kind of situations caused you to make that decision to just go to a place, you know what, I don't have to deal with crap?
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to operate in life when you're constantly worrying about other things, you know, little petty drama things. So, you know, what am I worrying about? Stay healthy, work hard, be the best, make good connections. I don't need weird little drama in my life about he, she in the gym and stuff. You know, they have a very good gym and good culture gym. So I knew I could work hard there and without any extraness. You know, it's like, I'm going to be paying that gym. I'm going to be locked in. I don't want to owe anyone out there. I just want to get in a gym and I just want to work hard again and be a student again. So I'm going to be training at Syndicate. And a big main reason why we chose Syndicate is because my best friend, one of my best friends, you know, I've known him for a while. His name's Cody Steele. He's an MMA fighter, and he went to Syndicate to pursue his MMA career. He left Texas just like we are, and you know, I just want to meet up with my brother. So I'm going back to Syndicate to support him, and he'll support me. And I'll have some other places I'm training at. I'm sure I'll find myself at training with Mikey a lot. Mikey's super technical.
Is Mikey in Vegas now?
He is, yeah.
He relocated?
Yeah, he's in Vegas. He's always all over the place, but
He's based in Vegas. He's been based in Vegas.
Yeah. I think he was in Asia before Vegas, but he's been in Vegas for a little bit. But yeah, I'll have Mikey as like a super technical, good guard player, good systematic person, and I'll have the Syndicate and John and Jerry and Shane as just workhorses. You know, there's a bunch of tough workhorses at Syndicate. People that are anti-jiu-jitsu, if you want to do it on me, you're going to have to earn it type people. And I'll have the toughness there. I'll have the toughness factor. I'll have the skill factor with Mikey. And then there's Andy's gym, Hanato's gym. Like, they're creating studs. So I'll get to train with them as well. And then the PI, man. The PI is so good.
So you can go there and spend, that's recovery day. I've been there when they had the BGF.
I love the PI.
You'll probably see our buddy Chris Olive over there. He's good friends with Hinato.
Chris, yeah. But the PI was a big decision for me too on why I'm going, because just the recovery I get, the strength and conditioning I get, the mat space they have upstairs. Like, I get to take like Aljamain Sterling's class with some studs and just decompress and learn with some really cool dudes. I get to meet just so much like executives, business owners, people of that caliber, just walk into the PI. It's just a really cool environment. So the fact that I'll have a stable gym to train at with tough people, an extremely technical person that I like and think is a genuinely good person to train with, and then the PI, which is just like cherry on top. I think it'll be a good recipe.
Is PI open to the public or is just exclusive to?
It's just exclusive to the athletes.
Okay.
Each athlete can bring, I believe, 2 guests.
Mhm.
Yep. But the benefits are only exclusive to the athletes. So like the free stuff and all of that only to the athletes.
I got you. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'm curious on the lifestyle change for me. You're going from Texas to Las Vegas. We know about the weather differences. I'm from Vegas, so I understand that there's more to Las
Dry.
Vegas than the Strip.
A lot of lotion.
Yeah, a lot of lotion and a lot of air conditioning.
Yeah.
Are you an outdoorsy kind of guy?
Oh man, I am. I was raised in the country. Yeah, but keep going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you looked into any of the I don't want to say amenities, but offerings that the region has to
I am
offer?
so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Texas is cool. A lot of owned land here. You know, it's really hard to do stuff here. Like I've dirt biked here. I've like shotguns, hunted here. I've gone off roading here. I've gone like trail riding, trail walking. You know, Barton Springs, just like in springs and lakes and stuff. And I've done it all. And honestly, I like Texas, but man, I like the area near Vegas so much better. I mean, I'll just be able to take my rig and my surfboard to San Diego or freaking Anaheim and just go surf. I'll be able to take my rig to Utah and just go explore. I'll be able to be in just the open, free land of Vegas and just go explore for hours on like a dirt bike. So there's just so much like outdoor stuff there. And also like the gun laws I respect are pretty cool.
Yeah, big gun community. You got Red Rock for hiking. You got some snowboarding nearby.
Yep.
You got Lake Mead out there. There's so much to do. So I just want to make sure you were aware of that.
Oh man.
It's way more than just gambling and watching shows, right?
It is.
Yeah,
I'm honestly going to be doing none of that.
I tell you what, when I go to Vegas, I've been there twice in the past few weeks. I get a hotel, which is a no-casino hotel. They don't allow smoking, and it's not on the Strip.
Yeah.
It's great. It's so chilled. I mean, it's great. Amazing, man.
I'm really excited. The car market's really cheap out there too. Like, man, I was finding like every single car you find here, you find there, it's like $3,000 cheaper. And I was like, dang. I was like,
talk about cars though. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about that. You and your family, you're aficionados of cars and stuff.
Cars,
and I understand your dad kind of passed that to you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's your whole family like that?
I mean, even my mom has like her opinions about cars and stuff, which is really hard to get a girl to like cars, you know. I mean, some of them just like cars, but she loves cars. My dad loves cars. My brothers, me. And yeah, we just like cars because it's just like they're only going to fail if you worked on them wrong or if you don't treat them right. You know, it's just purely a machine. So it's just like really fun to like geek out on them and just build them. And it's stress relieving, you know, it's decompressing with my family and just work on our rigs, go find a rig, you know, like make it something cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure you have quality time you spent with your dad and your brother on that.
Yeah, a lot of quality time. Yeah. It's been great. A lot of throwing freaking tape measures and hammers across the room, but good quality time. You know?
All right. So going back a little bit, I mean, I'm so excited for you with this new venture, UFC BJJ. But you're with Fight Factory, which you still have a relationship with for quite some time. What is the challenge of you rearranging your life and leaving behind those you were brought up with? I understand why you're doing it, and I know you're okay with it. But give me a bit perspective on the decision making, and the effects, because the people that have helped you so far, you know, you're taking a big step. It's like a son that grows out and goes to college, and the parents know that after college they're unlikely to come back home.
Yeah. I mean, it's rough, man. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of people here that I love, like some really good friends that I've made over the past like couple of months, like not even that long. I mean, me and my coach Rodrigo. I mean, he's helped me out so much, and we're such good friends. And I mean, I'll even be leaving my family for a couple of months. Like they won't be coming out for a couple of months after me. And so it's just like it hits my heart. You know, it's like I try not to think about it just because I never wanted to like not do it. I just wanted to focus on what was like good for me. But I'm definitely gonna be back in Texas like as much as I can, just because I know where like my family comes from, you know, and I know where I belong. And I already have such a good small circle. Like I like to think of it like, you know, here's my people, here's the people that I've let in. Here's my family. Here's my brothers. Here's my sisters, and really close friends. And I have my small circle in Texas, and I'm really happy with it. And I'm going to Vegas, and I'm not really looking to add anyone else into that small circle unless they earn it, unless they earn to get into the small circle. But I know where my family is, so I'll be back. I'll be back to spend time with everyone when I get chances, and just vibe with people. So, but I'm locked in. I'm going out to Vegas. We're working hard, and we're gonna be the best. So sick.
Now, is your brother going along with you now? Because he was a UFC BJJ too. And by the way, had an amazing match against Kyle Chambers. And for what I understand, was that the second time that
so Kyle has beaten me and beaten William, and now we have both beaten Kyle. So we're all 1-1. Kyle beat me on the Who's Next reality show put on by Flow Grappling, and we had an hour and 45-minute match, and he ended up knee barring me, and then he beat William back at 10th Planet, like Eddie Bravo Invitational, like a long time ago. And then I believe it was like a qualifiers for the EBI or something like that. And then I beat Kyle at Trials, ADCC Trials, and then William just beat him on the UFC BJJ. So yeah, a lot of respect towards Kyle, but we had to get those dubs back.
So your brother is going to be in Vegas at the same time you are?
No, he's moving, like his lease isn't up until like later this year. So he's waiting until that all works into motion. He'll be going out later. No,
but he's part of UFC BJJ as well.
Yes.
So he's
William's full send on building a career with them and being diligent. Yes, and seeing that happen. Yeah.
That's awesome. So the teaching, you said you were teaching, helping teach the kids program and things like that.
Yep.
And it's something that recently you left.
I stopped. Yes.
How recent?
About like 4 or 5 months ago. I stopped. I've been teaching up till about 4 or 5 months ago. I still teach like 1 or 2 adult classes in like a week, the ones that like really fit my schedule. But I was always teaching to keep me like grounded and keep me like in the sport and keep me from doing stupid stuff. Like I needed a schedule outside of training when I was younger. But now that I'm a little older, like I can, when I have free time, I don't do stupid stuff with it. I value it and I put it on how I can train harder. So now that I've created a little bit more like diligence and self-control, I stopped teaching because it wasn't worth the time for like the money and all that. Yep. And then I just redirected all that time on resting, recovering, building other areas of my life, and going full send on, training.
Well, I'm curious though, because I remember when I left Brazil, I had quite a few students that I had to tell, hey guys, by the way,
screw you guys, I'm out here.
In a few weeks, I'm going to be moving, not across the road or to another town. I'm moving out of one country to another. Yeah. So it was a very bittersweet moment
for people
for the people that I left behind. And it kind of happened somewhat in California when I was there for 5 years before I came to Texas. And I had that moment that, a lot of students actually wanted to stop training because they were attached to me, used to me. I was their main instructor. And I wonder, how did that play out? And I completely understand that you are in a different stage in your life, and jiu-jitsu is in a different situation compared to when I was teaching.
Yeah.
So it's obvious that everybody will understand why you're doing what you're doing, but it doesn't change the fact that for the relationship's sake, people will miss you, So what was the reaction of the parents or the kids once you had to tell them, hey guys, by the way?
It's been the real ones are really happy for me, but there's a couple of bittersweet ones that it's just like, it's like, oh man, it's hard to see you go, but I'm so happy for you. You worked so hard for this. A lot of people, they see it as Vegas is the rewards of my labor. I see it more as Vegas is going to be, my life is going to get a lot harder because I'm going to be working so much harder in Vegas because I see how much I can obtain from moving out to Vegas. I'm just ready to obtain it. And it won't happen unless I work hard, and stay humble, and, put my trust not in myself, but, know.
Well, the one thing too that I see, and you mentioned that, I think, the fact that you're going to Vegas now doesn't mean that you have, and I'm not saying you're not going to change your decision from maybe coming back to Texas at a point in time.
Yeah.
As you scale your career up to a point.
I love Texas.
You can choose where you want to be.
Exactly.
And create the situation that is favorable for you to fulfill your goals,
Exactly.
training wise, preparing wise. So you can choose on your own terms where you want to be.
My goal is get jiu-jitsu mainstream. Get jiu-jitsu putting money in people's pockets, putting money in kids' pockets and families' pockets. And how do I do that? I build my career and I win and I be the best, and that builds the sport. I'm a good face. I try to be nice. I try to be a good person. I represent it well. And that's just what I'm trying to do. And I do that by going to UFC and locking in and then building something special. And that's not going to happen unless I move down there. Like the media opportunities that I get from being in Vegas is just outstanding. The easy door to door, just, hey, let's do something like UFC and it's just great me living there. So I see this as not only like an investment in myself, but as an investment in like the sport. Not to sound like selfless, because I am doing this selfish reasons. I'm moving to Vegas, but I see the sport growing from me moving to Vegas and my family moving to Vegas as well. More than if we just stayed in Austin, because the Austin scene for jiu-jitsu is already so big. You know, there's so many good of the best people in Austin. And I want to go to Vegas. I want to show the MMA community that jiu-jitsu is pretty cool. I want to show them that, you know, we can scrap and we're tough too. And I think moving to Vegas and winning over all of the MMA community and earning their respect is going to help the sport out a lot too.
If you had to name your favorite moments so far in your career, what would you say?
Let's see. First one that pops to mind was when I was like 12 years old. I won my first, it was called Bruce Kumite. It was like a tournament back in Texas back in the days when I was like really young. And I won that tournament. And I had been trying to win that for a while. I kept losing. And it was like a cash prize, like EBI overtime bracket for kids. And that really meant a lot to me. And then another time in my life what meant a lot to me was winning Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. That was pretty cool. This was the first time I made like 10 grand in Jiu-Jitsu, and I was like, dang, look at this.
Combat is the one with the palm strike.
Yeah. I was like 17 then. And then another one that was really big in my life was when I beat Tommy Langacker. Sorry, Tommy, you awesome. But when I beat Tommy and who's number one, I was like, wow, I beat someone that I have been watching since I was like 12. So that was a big one to me. And then another really big one to me was having my match against Cage on CGI. It's just the amount of people that was there, and the amount of I just felt like a celebrity. It was so cool, that whole experience. That one meant a lot to me as well. But honestly, that training camp, the training camp leading up to CGI was one of the most terrible, grueling, harsh, just terrible training camps I've ever gone through. So I really found myself and learned who I was like in that training camp in a big way. And then another really cool time was the reality show on Who's Next or Who's Number One. I've had so many cool experiences, man. I really have. But if I had to pick one, it was when me and my brother won trials at ADCC, when we won it together and we celebrated together. We had been trying to win trials for like 4, 5, 6 years. He won the year prior, went to ADCC. I lost, he lost. And then we both went to trials and won together. It was just so special, man. I train with my brother all the time. I mean, we're super close. We love each other. And the fact that we got to share that together, I'll never forget that. I mean, if you don't have a brother, you got to find a brother, man. There's no other recipe. Finding someone that you can just drop your guard down with, that knows you, that you can just grow with, that is so important. It really is. In business and life, you find your wife, once you find your wife, you do life with her, and that's so important. And so for me, having a brother that I could just rely on, it was so cool in jiu-jitsu. We're opposite. We are as opposite as it gets. Like, I don't want to go into all the details on how opposite we are, but anything I do, he's literally the opposite person. Like, I'm an extrovert, he's an introvert. He uses his brain, I don't use my brain. Like a lot of stuff. So we've complemented each other so well. Just being the good cop, bad cop. Then we switch roles, good cop, bad cop. It's just perfect. I'm so thankful to have William in my life. And I really don't think I could have done it without an older brother, just keeping me in check and, him not wanting to let me get better than him. So him working harder, and then me wanting to surpass him. So me working harder. It was pretty cool. We shared a room till we were like 18, so like until he was like 18, I was 16. Like So we were pretty close. And yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Stay Humble Coffee. Coffee is so good, it doesn't need to brag. Find it at stayhumblecoffee.com.
So you have your brother. You guys are. You guys are trying to reach the same goal. You guys got to be humble, man. It's like you guys got to love each other. You guys got to let each other have the input in each other's lives. Who knows you more than your brother? Not a lot of people. Your parents, obviously, listen to them. And if you're not, that's step one. Oh my God, you already screwed up. But listen to your parents. But man, be connected with your brother. Like, enjoy him so much more than anyone else and listen to him. Don't be afraid to call him out when he's wrong as well. Just learn with him. And yeah, if you do that, you will be totally fine. Easier said than done. I know. I had an older brother and I was a younger brother and I was a little butthole. He was a little butthole at times, but you just got to learn to love each other. You got to learn to just see each other for their strong suit and see each other, for how you can help each other and grow off of each other and just love each other. You do that, you stay close to your brother, you keep a good relationship with your brother. Oh, bro, it'll work out. There's literally no way it won't work out, if you do that.
In your trajectory, what was the structure of your training? Because you gave me a bit of an insight how you are right now because you're more professional.
Yeah.
But I don't think you started like that, right?
No.
So, and you kind of, for instance, talked about injuries.
Yeah.
Like you train, and then you get hurt, and now you're getting hurt less.
Yeah.
So I guess you're getting wise in this whole process. You're learning, okay, a day off is not necessarily a bad day. Oh, doing more positional training, getting the white belts, then the blue belts. When people ask me, how do you get better? I said, learn a move, try to master the move, try out on the white, on the blue, on the purple, and test with the black. And then go down the same process again, all right? You grow with the guys who are not as good as you are. You test with those who are your level or above. Okay, and that keeps you honest. I think you got to stay honest.
Yeah.
How do you stay honest with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, I had family supporting me, mom and dad, and I got set up, man. I literally did. I was homeschooled. My dad worked some days most days from like 6 a.m. to, 10 p.m.
Wow.
And, and he just, yeah, man, my dad worked so hard for me. So I got set up. I really did. And not everyone's as fortunate as I am. And I realized that. So I'm so thankful for my life. But, if you're fortunate, you better operate in humility and appreciate it and work really hard. A lot of people work hard because they have to. If you have a set up life, you don't have to work hard. But it's going to suck pretty bad when you said you had a set up life, but you did nothing with it. So number one, you have to work hard. You have to take every opportunity. You have to learn from everyone. Everyone has something to offer you. Everyone has something to teach you. And you have to approach it with a humble mindset. You have to stay consistent. If you're consistent 330 days, 300 days a year, that is a lot better than training really hard and being injured 3 months out of the year. So stay consistent. Don't be prideful. Sit out when you need to sit out. Let someone pass your guard when they need to pass your guard. Conquer the little battles, and that will go a long way. Like, take checkpoints. Like, I didn't get injured today. I got that one passed today. I lifted today.
Do you keep journals?
I don't know. I don't. I just.
But you film yourself.
Yeah.
You said.
Yeah. But I like to constantly clock things off in my head and check things off, and we're filming things and we're creating memories and keeping things, for the future. But if you're not set up, if you don't have a set up life, do the things that allow you to train. So for some people, they bartend because they can work later at night and have different hours and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just do PT, do physical therapy, get your body really healthy and stay healthy. Weightlift, get strong, get your flexibility. There's not one area that you shouldn't be a master in. Like, if you're strong, stiff, and good at jiu-jitsu, you're not flexible. There's someone out there that will beat you.
Yeah.
So you have to master every area: flexibility, strength, mobility, technique. You have to have that dog inside of you. You can't expect to be the best if there's any ounce in you that will give up. So you have to be a dog. And I think if you just work hard, man, and just stay humble and just take every step at a time, but don't dream about things, but just every step at a time and just meet them as they come and have a set plan and don't let it change, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, jiu-jitsu is really easy to be successful. And I think now you just have to work your way up and beat everyone else. Don't get injured, stay consistent, and you'll be there.
Right. You already increased your odds right there, right?
Yeah.
So
Easier said than done, though.
you said something about
And you got to be a weirdo. You can't have friends. You can't go to party. You can't be a traditional what the world thinks is cool. Like you have to make unlimited sacrifices. You have to sacrifice staying up late. You have to sacrifice eating bad. You have to sacrifice hanging out with friends. You have to sacrifice dating, you know, and spending time in areas where you shouldn't spend time. I mean, you have to sacrifice, you know, spending money on things that you want, you know, rather than putting that money towards your training. And it's all about sacrifices. If you really want it, you're going to be willing to sacrifice for it, you know?
But my thing here, you said right off the bat that you're a nerd.
I am not really though.
You know, what I'm saying is the reason I mentioned that term in particular.
Yeah.
You come across different guys. You said Joseph Chan, and then you talk about Mike Musumeci, and you talk about Chris Wozniak, for instance, that I had a chance. Yeah. So all those guys, they're highly intellectual. They're diligent about how they study and break things down, and then they put to practice and train and you know, and build up their skill set. Some film themselves, some watch videos of others. And I feel jiu-jitsu has given a whole new open field for that kind of character to play out in ways that they're becoming quite successful. Yeah. Because it's a brain game. Jiu-jitsu is you use your brains. You're not just using your muscles.
I agree.
It's a technique battle.
I agree.
You know, of course, strength plays a role. If you do weight training, you're stronger, and then you do technique on top of it, you're definitely going to get the edge.
Yeah.
But saying that, how much of a student of the art you are? Do you spend time watching tapes of other people? You analyze tournament competition.
You have to be.
What's your breakdown in that part?
Yeah. Well, I think you got to know your strong suits. I'm extremely athletic. I'm extremely creative. So it's like, I don't really need to work those things. I did in the first like 6 years of my career. But now then once I solidified those and knew I was good at them, you got to now work on your weak suits. Mine was, I wasn't a nerd. I didn't like to watch tape. I didn't like to study and know all of the competitors and all of their games and styles and break down stuff. You got to do it. And I think the nerds in the sport need to be a little bit more of a careless dog and just scrap, you know? So it's like, I think we all need to figure out our weak suits and improve them. You know, so if you're a nerd and you really like the nerdy stuff, do it for a couple of years, get really dangerous, and then learn how to scrap, learn how to be a dog, and then add that. You have to be complete. You know, we look at Mika Gavallo. Mika's a big nerd. He's really technical, and I can guarantee you he knows most everyone on the scene. But man, he knows how to scrap. He knows how to take the match to you. He knows how to do takedowns. He knows how to play guard. He knows how to attack submissions. He knows how to do leg locks. So it's like, you got to be good everywhere. You got to be complete. So I'd say start on the area you're good at naturally, and then you move on to the area that you're not naturally good at. And that's really when you'll rise above the crowd. But yeah, I think it is highly important to watch tape, to watch jiu-jitsu, to learn technique, and to really just dive into it, you know? Just make it become muscle memory through just memory. Like, you don't want to have to think when you're in the match, but you want it to just be, that's all you eat, breathe, and sleep. So when you go out there, you're not even thinking, you know?
Who amongst the people that you like to watch, would you name a few that you like how they break things down? Or
how they teach.
Yeah.
I love how my older brother teaches, like, not to be biased, but he's a great teacher, man. I love watching him compete. Everything that William trains in the training camp, he does in the tournament. That's something I really appreciate about him. Me, the things I'm working in the training camp and the game plan that I take into the match, it never happens that way. It always happens some other way. But William, his game plan, his techniques he works, he does in the competition. And that's what I inspire to do. I really like watching, Mateus Gabriel. I've enjoyed watching him for a long time. People like that, people that will just go for anything at any moment in time. You give me an arm, I'm trying to break your elbow. You give me your fingers, I'm cranking it. Give me your head, I'm headlocking you. Like, they always are attacking. You know, I really enjoyed watching people like Keenan Cornelius compete back in the days, because he was just always so down to just go. You know, he had a game plan. He was a great guard player, had good passing as well, but he's so good at improvising, you know, and that's the people I enjoy watching, the people that go in there with a foundation and they stick to it, but then they know how to improvise. Because I've seen some people that, to me, that are still so boring to watch. I can't watch them, and I won't watch them. That will just do the same thing the whole entire match. You know, they have a game plan, they're good at it, and it's not working, and they won't change it. You know, that is just so boring to watch. You know, so if I'm trying to wrestle you to the ground and I've gone for a double leg 5 times and you've sprawled on me 5 times, why are you still going for double legs? Mm-hmm. Switch it up, man. So, and that's not an attack at anyone. You could be a guard player. You know, you're going for a straight ankle lock. He defends it 2 times. Quit going for a straight ankle lock, man. Like, he already defended it. Do something else. Wrestle up. Try to go inverted. Take their back. Try to guillotine them. Omoplata them. Anything. You know, so I think a lot of people get tunnel visioned in matches, and that's what makes jiu-jitsu sometimes a little boring to watch, because they try to focus too much on technique and too much of accomplishing what they want to accomplish versus just winning. Like, okay, we need to switch it up. I just need to win now.
Yep.
And that's what is really entertaining for me to watch as a competitor. When you see someone just throw the game plan out the door and they're just like, I want to win. Kenta Ayamoto, for an example. You know Kenta, right?
Yeah.
That kid knows how to improvise. You know, he is such a scrapper, and I enjoy watching him so much. Corvée brothers, such good competitors to watch. You never see the same match happen with them because they're all such good at improvising, and they're so good at willing to leave the game plan behind because they realize it's not working and just go. And I think jiu-jitsu guys need that. We have a lot of faces in the sport that can't improvise, and I would like to see some more scrapping and just changing it up.
Those guys are students of Greg Saunders, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're scrappers, man.
Yeah, they did really.
They're coming
they performed. They performed very, very well.
They're coming for me. I know.
At CGI. Well, they just performed well in general. I was really impressed with their ability to, like you said, improvise against big guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to them for
Hey,
sure.
like people like Giancarlo, he's a bit more like technical, methodical, but yet he is great at improvising. He can match anyone's pace, anyone's game. Like, look at him versus J-Rod at ADCC. So his game beat up the whole match, getting absolutely just pretty much destroyed. And then he locked back in, gained control, and beat him. You know, that is improvising. If you know, like Baby Shark, you know, fighting what's his name, Diego Pato at ADCCs. He was losing. He got I believe swept and passed, and then came back and arm triangled him. You know, it's just being able to improvise, throw your game plan out the door, and win. And I mean, it's kind of a call out to the other people in the sport, saying like, get your crap together. You know, if we want jiu-jitsu to go to the next level and reach the sport that we believe it can reach, you have to be able to leave your pride at the door and leave your game plan at the door if it's not working, and just put on a show and win. And I think that's what the people want to see. They want to see drama in the match. They want to see, oh shoot, I got to win. You know, and that's what they really can get behind. They don't want to see a calm face, everything's okay. You know, but it's not, if you're not winning, if you're not beating the dude, it's not okay. You know, like, you're not winning. Just because you're winning by this much, that's not good enough. You know, and
this episode is brought to you by Machado Method Nutrition, premium fuel for disciplined athletes who train with intent and recover with purpose. Live the method, fuel the life. Start now at machadomethodnutrition.com. That brings me to mind the format of different tournaments. Like, let's say some tournaments favor more action. Like I was at PGF not long ago, and PGF is submission based.
Yeah, PGF.
You know what I'm saying? So they, you know, you don't tap the guy out. You know, they don't. Nobody scores, right? You tap the guy out before a minute, you score extra points on top of it. Yeah. So if you do a chokehold, it counts more. Than a break. Yeah. You know, so not only gives a chance for them to make some money. Yeah. Team overall, they have a lump sum. They can split up. They are ranked in the top 8. They can still go for some extra cash.
Yeah, I like PGF. I like what they're doing for the sport. It's a great idea, I think. I mean, every organization can improve in so much areas, and I think they have a lot of room to improve areas as well. But they're doing great with what they got, and I really respect what they're doing.
They're exciting. The matches, most of them are exciting.
I agree.
What's your take on the shot clock they have? You're the only one that has a shot clock.
Yeah, I mean, I like the shot clock. I think it's a little dumb, to be honest. I think just give stalling calls. And if you get 3 stalling calls, you get disqualified. And be faithful to stalling calls. Like CGI said they were going to be faithful to stalling calls, and they weren't. They weren't consistent at all with their stalling calls.
So let me ask you this then, to be the devil's advocate, because I actually love the stalling calls because it forces them in a different position and it causes action, new action. And if we're going to look at jiu-jitsu as the better, or if we're looking for the best for jiu-jitsu and the future of the growth, are we looking for entertainment or just solid jiu-jitsu?
I think there's a middle ground.
Yes.
I think there's a middle ground because we got a lot of people that want to see those beautiful artwork, technical battles. But if you're having a technical battle with someone, be willing to switch it up. Like, man, win the match. If you guys are going technical battle for 3 minutes and no one's winning, switch it up. And that you might just win, you know? So I think it just comes down to the athletes. We can create as many rule sets as we want. You know, there's a reason MMA's really only had like 1 rule set, because it worked and the athletes showed up. You know, if the athletes didn't show up for MMA, they'd probably have to switch up their rule sets constantly. I think there's been great rule sets in jiu-jitsu. I mean, look back on my career. I've done IBJJF. I scrapped in all my matches in IBJJF, and sometimes I lost because of it. I did EBI. I scrapped in all my matches for EBI overtimes. I did submission onlys. I scrapped in all of those. I did local tournaments. I did tournaments in all across the world, just random rule sets. And I always showed up and put on a show. And I usually 95, 98% won, because no matter what, I knew how to win, you know, and I didn't want to win by an advantage. I didn't want to win by a micro. It's like, I want to submit you. I want to prove I'm better, you know? And I think a big thing is just stalling calls and being faithful. If you're stalling calls, like, hey, these athletes are obviously not trying to win. Stalling call. Agreed. You know, okay. Even 30 seconds later, you guys still aren't trying to win. Stalling call. You know, all right, you guys still aren't trying to win. You know, you can't disqualify both athletes, you know, but now you have to see which one's stalling more. Boom, now I'm penalize him. You know, take a point away. You know, if we're doing like the 10-8 scoring rounds, take a point away in the round. Like, I just think we need to be consistent with our stalling calls. Like, I see a lot of organizations, sometimes they're really enforcive, sometimes they're not enforcive at all. And I'm like, what is going on? These people are laying there. I'm like, you know.
When the ADCC first started, and still I believe that's the rule set that they follow, you would have the first 5 minutes out of 10, no scoring. And then after the 5 minute was up,
I loved that.
Then points were scoring, right?
It's still there.
So I know, but one perspective that I had was, what I saw happen is some of those guys, they started to stall in the first 5 minutes because they felt it doesn't matter how much effort I put, it's not going to count.
Stylistically, because they knew they couldn't submit the guy, so they wouldn't go for the submission. They try to get a sweep or an advantage.
No. What I'm trying to say is they waited for waited for the 5 minutes to go up.
Yes.
In order to make worth their effort if they decided to go for a score.
Bro, I've submitted so many people on ADCC because I knew they were stalling. I was like, all right, you're not going to try. And I was like,
yeah. Now, you have a different mindset. But my thought process way back was you do the opposite. You make scoring valid in the first 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, that's cool. Nothing counts. Because then whoever is outscoring the other, you're going to still have 5 extra minutes
to submit,
in which the other guy can only win by submission.
That's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? So that's always been my process.
I like ADCC. They've done great, but they they have some really weird ways of scoring and not scoring.
I think one of the things, one of the things with tournaments that I feel the organizers have always to pay attention is consistency on the way they referee. Because a lot of times, if the rules get too complicated, it's going to fail. Or if they are not enforced once, it creates a precedence that, you know, the calls, won't, like the stalling part, for instance, won't be there. So that's just like in hindsight. What I see happening.
I like the 10-9.
What about EBI? How did you feel when you first...
I liked EBI. I liked submission only because it was so nonchalant and it was just jiu-jitsu. There was nothing else. You know, if you want to put on a boring match, you're not going to get back on. Like, it was just like, you can make it as exciting as you want. You don't got to worry about points. But then I hated you got my back. Like, I beat you up for a whole round, then you get my back. I was like,
You're talking about the tiebreaker?
Yeah. Like, I couldn't stand that tiebreaker. Even though I always won. I was really good at EBI. That's why my back takes are so good and holding from the back, because I grew up in EBI. But I'm so glad I don't do that anymore. There's one
But
time.
you got to understand, EBI, because due to the EBI, the most jiu-jitsu schools start to work the best positions.
Yeah.
Like the worst case scenarios.
Yeah, I did too.
Because a lot of times,
specific train from bottom out.
yeah, how many times before EBI you would go for a roll, but you wouldn't put yourself
Never.
willingly.
Never.
Okay, let's start from the back. Let's start from the mount.
Yeah.
So now it has changed the landscape, because I believe one of the reasons jiu-jitsu has raised the level was the fact, EBI, Eddie Bravo, thank you.
Oh yeah.
The fact that
what
you had to prepare for the tiebreakers, and if you're not savvy at escaping,
Yeah. I love Eddie Bravo, man. He's such a free-spirited person. I respect that about him, and just the whole community behind EBI and that whole thing. It's like it's such a cool part of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. He's a brain person.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
And he's an artist too. He's a musician.
He's a thinker too.
Yeah, he's a thinker, very articulate, very smart. I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with most things.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
You know,
He's a cool guy.
We love Eddie.
Eddie is a good person.
I've had some awesome encounters, funny encounters with Eddie.
Listen, I remember him as a purple belt at my brother's academy, and I remember he used to
when he back had hair and stuff. You know?
Yeah. He used to cross his legs behind his head, and way before people did inverted guard or everything, he was already doing the rubber guard, and I mean, it was like a pain to pass his guard. I want to just break this guy's back. You know what I'm saying? But he was great, and I think too, the 10th Planet idea. You know, he created a whole new revolution. Because I think it was a big push for the no-gi as well. Which brings me to a question here. How much gi training have you had, or how much gi training do you still implement, if any? And I know it's mainly no-gi nowadays, and that's part of your career. How do you navigate that?
If I'm being serious, I like training the gi more. I love the gi, man. It's so fun. Just like competing. No, I don't like competing in the gi. It's too soccer style for me. I love competing, and no gi is too in a lot of areas. That's why I'm running, and I ran to the UFC because they're very business, made the best fighter win type thing, and I love that. But gi, bro, I love training it. It's so fun, just figuring it out, just wearing a gi. You know, you sweat so much more. You get to wear a sick uniform. Like it's cool. It really is. I think since gi started off, like it got, you know, like through the years and all of that, like it had a bunch of like weird things in it, and then no gi came along, and it was just like a fresh new kind of wind. And I hope the gi makes a comeback now.
It's too very strong.
I think it is, but I hope it like really blows up again.
Yeah,
because I love the gi, and I hope there might be some rule sets like the UFC kind of for the gi, like 10-8 scoring, just submit, just win, something like that. It'd be cool. I train the gi when I can. Like I don't get to train a lot, just because I'm so locked into no-gi and wrestling and judo and you know, and stuff like that. But I mean, when I retire, I'm gonna be training probably most gi, just because it's easier on the body. You get to chill. You get super strong grips. You know, it just makes you a man. You know, it's just I like the gi. I was born in the gi. I trained the gi. I won worlds at blue. I won a couple of cool tournaments when I was younger in the gi. I just stopped it when I was like purple belt. Why did I stop it? I don't know. I can't remember. I just think I just started getting better in the no-gi, and I started making money. That's what it was. I started making money in the no-gi, and I was like, we gonna get better at this so I can make money.
Great reason to make a change, right?
I agree. Yeah. I think, you know, if you do jiu-jitsu, do what you want, but you gotta train at least gi and no-gi. Like do them both. You know, like gi's gonna make your no-gi better, no-gi's gonna make your gi better. Gi just teaches you to hold and solidify positions and hunker down and just control. The no-gi teaches you to scrap and to, you know, and to just be kind of like pressure forward the whole time. And I think they complement each other in a lot of ways as well.
Yep.
Earlier you mentioned, talked a little bit about business, not too much in depth. And you mentioned guys like Keenan Cornelius and a couple other people you love watching. And I grew up watching Keenan Cornelius because of his social media presence and his videos.
How funny he was and all that too.
Yeah, and I think you're right. He's one of the best instructors out there and very good at improvising. But I want you to kind of talk about, because I feel like you have a career already, but it's starting to blossom out into something much more serious.
Yeah.
And I kind of want you to talk about maybe what you're doing, what you were doing in terms of like the business of Andrew Tackett, what that business looks like in terms of like social media, what it looks like in terms of video. Or do you have a website? Like as a professional jiu-jitsu athlete, and maybe you don't have those things yet because you're just starting out. Because like before with the podcast started, you were telling me about your best friend who, if you want to share about kind of like what you're doing there, kind of what your plan is. And I think that'd be interesting to kind of share.
It would give the other people in the sport, you know, like some direction and stuff, or some pointers they can take, or they can throw away.
Please share.
I mean, you know, it's on me to be the best and train really hard. That's on no one else. You know, like I have to show up every day and I have to train hard, but there's so many other things that go into it. And I just started focusing on like all the other areas and avenues probably like this past year. So it hasn't been, it's in the making, but got a YouTube, got a TikTok, started trying to get my presence on those as well. Wanted to like lock in consistent content so people could get to know me and support me. Because having people that support you, like it just makes you work harder. You know, you just have that in the back of your head, knowing that people care and they watch you. So putting stuff out there for people to care about and to watch, like motivates you so much. And then you get a lot of opportunity for that. People see your work, people see what you can do, sponsorship, product opportunities. Like there's a lot of that comes out of that. And it's pretty easy. You know, just, I found a friend of mine, his name is Alec, and he wanted to build a freelance, you know, getting filming and building his career. And I needed a photographer that I trusted, because a lot of times, you know, you can get a videographer guy or a photographer, or you can do it on your own. Like my older brother does it all on his own. He has his wife, he has a camera set up, and he does it all on his own. For me, I was too focused on all the other things that I needed to do, like just wake up on time and just eat properly. So it was just like one thing at a time. But find someone that you can trust. Like get a cameraman, someone that you can trust, someone that is willing to work with you and get your image out there and willing to build their career as well through you. And you guys can do some pretty cool things together. And I mean, Claudia said it, the girl that helps run the UFC BJJ.
Claudia Gadelia.
Mm-hmm. She, you know, she's a testament of how hard work and being business oriented can create success. She grew up in Brazil, you know, had nothing, came over here, became a really good fighter, created a name for herself. Now that she had a name for herself, she went into investments, into marketing, into business, and really took her fighter mentality, that do it now personality, took it to business and exploded. So it's like, as a competitor, if you have you're creating the characteristics and the good environment to be successful in business, be successful on media. Just don't be boring. Don't be a boring person. You know, like gotta be at least somewhat interesting if you're gonna do it. But I'm still learning. You know, like I want to create a website soon, and I probably want to get some like merch and Andrew Tackett merch and stuff like that out there, and start, you know, doing some like different stuff. I think any revenue or any like direction's never a bad direction. You know, as long as you're putting time and putting effort and believing in it. And you have people backing you up, like anything's good. Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff I need to do too, man. I got to do so much more. It's just one step at a time. Try not to do too much at once. Conquer one thing, get the flow of it, get it started, get it where it just kind of runs itself because you've been doing it and it's easy and it's flow and it's not stressful. Then add another thing and then do that and then do that and then add another thing. But yeah, in about 2 years, we'll have a pretty good thing going, you know?
It's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully sooner.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Andrew, you filled my cup, man. It's not just on the mat, but off the mat.
Thank you, sir.
It was a great pleasure to share this extra time with you after your seminar. I want to thank you for your time again and for your goodwill to share your story with our listeners and our viewers. And we only can hope you and wish you all the best on your new venture in Vegas. And we're going to be tuned for your match in December. And I'm kind of biased. I'll probably be rooting for you no matter who you go against.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, my brother.
Where can the people find you on social media, websites, all those things?
So if you want to support my career and you'd like to know a little bit more about me, you can find me on Instagram, Andrew Tackett, You can find me on YouTube, Andrew Tackett BJJ. You can find me on TikTok, Andrew Tackett as well. Don't worry, I'll be putting some merch and websites and stuff out there eventually one day. But yeah, just support my career, guys. I'm gonna be doing some cool things, and I'm gonna be working really hard. So let's go, guys.